A real quick peek at the corner of Wool and Broad. Stocks are down right now. This has much more to do, tentative as these numbers are in any given moment, with concerns about the China deal or what they hope will be resumed China talks next week when top ministers come to town to convince with the White House. But Wilbur Ross, the Commerce Secretary of the United States, has indicated right now, and I quote, "We are miles and miles from a trade deal with China." That's generally not encouraging. To Fairfax Global Markets CEO Paul Dietrich. Paul, what did you make of that?
Well, I think we have to make a distinction here. I talked to one of our trade representatives on Monday, and he was saying he was somewhat optimistic in that China has, in principle, agreed to many of the United States' major demands. However, the real work, the detailed work, and I think the work that Wilbur Ross is talking about is writing into the law so that China cannot get away with not enforcing it or ignoring it once it's been passed. And that has happened in the past. But this is really tough, detailed work. Robert Lighthizer, our chief negotiator, he is intent on making sure that China actually implements and enforces this trade agreement, something they haven't always done in the past.
Yeah, and I mean, the biggest bugaboo is the fact that on this patent infringement and spying and stealing technology, for want of a better term, the Chinese are saying that shouldn't be part of these discussions anyway, and we don't do it anyway. So they blatantly, both-faced lie. So well, how do you get past that?
Yeah, in fairness, over the last week or two, the Chinese have been stating, well, how can we negotiate on this because we don't force transfer of technology and we don't steal technology.
They demand companies that come into China to essentially open up their books and technologies if you want to do business here.
And part of it is done through their patent process.
Exactly.
And they force patent information that we would never do here in the United States, and then they hand it to our competitors. And so one of the things is that they have agreed to change their patent laws. They have agreed to make what we were talking about as forced transfers of technology and joint partnerships.
But I don't believe them.
But how do you get it enforced?
Because, just in the middle of this, and I know it's just noise, it might be just ancillary to these discussions, but if I'm one of the American negotiators and I get word today, and we're going to pursue this later on in the show, that Microsoft's Bing search engine just disappeared in China, that's just the kind of thing that rattles, free worlders, if you will, the people who say, open up your markets, be exposed to this sort of stuff. And when they do something like that in the middle of these talks, it either shows me they're blind to this double standard or the fact that they're hypocritical, or they're just being ballsy about it.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. But let me tell you, Robert Lighthizer has been doing this for a long, long time.
Indeed.
He knows every trick that they've played over the last 2 decades. And he is absolutely intent on not only making sure that these laws are enforced, but there is quick and swift retaliation, not going through the World Trade Organization for 10 years in appeals, but swift retaliation in terms of tariffs or other things that would come about. And that's the heart of what's being literally negotiated in very tense negotiating sessions right now.
Fingers crossed, as they say, Paul. Thank you very much, my friend.